Okay, so let's go to our grammar books on page 73. We're going to start there. Page 73. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I got something in my eyeball. All of a sudden. I think I'm okay now. Whoa. Has that ever happened to you? It's like all of a sudden it's like, how did that get in there? It's like a hair or something. Okay. Page 73, we're talking about conjunctions. And these are words that connect parts of sentences together. Okay, this is there's a list of them. They connect words or phrases or clauses, and they're also called a coordinating conjunction. That connects the same type of words, phrases, or clauses. So the items the coordinating conjunction connects must be grammatically the same. So 2 or more nouns, 2 or more verbs, 2 or more prepositional phrases, and so forth. So look at this example here. It says he ran to the window and opened it. So we have the coordinating conjunction as and here, and it's not connecting window and opened. It's actually connecting the two verbs in the sentence. So we have ran and opened. Those are the two things that he is doing. That's what and is connecting, not window and opened. That's window is a noun, right? And opened is a verb. So it doesn't connect those two. It has to connect two of the same type of words. So ran, even though it's way back here, and opened. Those two paragraphs just basically explain what I just said. So go down here. There's this acronym. An acronym is a made-up word to help us memorize something. And the word is fanboys. I mean, I think it actually is a word if you're like a fanboy of some band or, movie star or whatever. But fanboys is just a fun word for us to remember the coordinating conjunction words. And here it is down here. This is how we're going to memorize this. The F in fanboys stands for. A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S so. So if you remember, whenever you see that word coordinating conjunction, because it's going to be in your grammar book from now on, you'll see it a lot. When you see coordinating conjunction, I want you to think of fanboys. And it's for and nor, but, or, yet, so. So you guys are muted. I want you to stay muted, but I want you to read these words with me, okay? So look at your book, start with the word for, ready, read. For and nor, but, or, yet, so. One more time. For and nor, but, or, yet, so. So that's what I want you to start memorizing each time you go to do your homework. When you see coordinating conjunction, go over these words, because the more you say them out loud and the more you practice them, they'll stick in your head, okay? But if you think of fanboys and you picture those letters in your head, that'll help you remember these words. Okay, so when you see a word that's a coordinating conjunction, you're going to label it with a CC, just like this one right here. CC stands for coordinating conjunction. And here's your example. The guards looked around the room, but saw nothing unusual. The word but is a coordinating conjunction. It's the B in fanboys right here. So it's connecting two verbs again. They looked, but saw. Okay, so but is connecting looked and saw. Remember, they have to be the same type of words. That's what they're connecting in a sentence, even though there's extra words in between. That doesn't matter. It's you're looking for what is it connecting. And here, the princess wanted the cloak, bag, and horn. This one is connecting three nouns. Cloak is like a jacket, basically, with a hood. Oh, it's more like a cape, I guess. Cloak, bag, and horn, those are all nouns. So and is connecting three nouns right here. They are next to each other in this one. And I wanted you to notice the commas because it's going to talk about a couple comma rules down here. Whenever you list three or more things in a sentence, you need commas between. This one that just has two verbs, you don't need a comma around those words at all, okay? So if it's three or more, you do need commas. So here's the pattern right here. This has the commas X'd out, meaning you don't need a comma if the pattern is just A and B. But if the pattern is A, B, and C, yes, you do need commas, okay? Those are the two rules that I want you to remember as you go through this book. Now, strong verbs. We've talked about this. I think you guys are using this in your checklist, huh? Yeah, you are. Strong verbs, it's in your grammar now. It just says it dresses up writing because it creates a strong image or feeling. So when you come across a strong verb, it triggers something in your brain to picture in your head what's happening. And I think I've used this sentence before. Well, let me finish this first. It says a strong verb is an action verb, never a linking or helping verb. Look for strong verbs in this book and write them on the strong verb collection page, Appendix 2. That's at the back of the book. If you want, and you come across a good looking verb that's a strong verb, you can write it down in the back of this book and keep a list. Tyler?
Do we have what's a strong verb again?
Yeah, I'm going to explain that right now. So like if I have the sentence, the dog went after the cat. The dog went after the cat. Went is a verb, but it's not considered a strong verb. But if I changed it to say the dog chased after the cat, now in your head, you know what that looks like. You've probably seen that at some point in your life where a dog is trying to catch something, a cat, a squirrel, who knows what, but when they chase it, they're going up the hill and down and around the tree and over the rock. And, you can imagine it being a kind of a wild experience, right? Rather than just the dog went after the cat, the dog chased after the cat. So that's an example of a difference between a weak verb and a strong verb. So if the best way to know, Tyler, is if it gives you a strong image, like in your head, like I just explained, it's making it more clear in your head what's being said, or it creates a strong feeling when you come across the word. So, but basically, the key to remember is it's an action verb, not a linking, like linking would be like was or has or those types of words, not like that, or a helping verb like had been. Those are not strong verbs. So a strong verb is telling exactly what's happening in the sentence. There's a lot of them. And you'll have a lot of practice with it, so we'll just keep talking about it. And then eventually it'll be like, oh, I know what that is, because you'll get used to it. All right, let's go to the practice page then. 75. William, can you read this sentence today, please?
The soldier knew that he needed to escape, but he forgot that he was wearing a magic cloak.
Okay, good. And you have your book in front of you too, William? Okay, good. So escape is the vocabulary word for today on our grammar lesson. It just means to like get away from, like to get out of a situation or get away from. So escape, go ahead and put a check by vocabulary. And you know what to do here for articles. A and the, and then go ahead and find the two and mark them by yourself. Okay. And then, so we have the and a. It took me a minute to find the A. I was like, oh yeah, A. We don't see that very often, but how about Nasaya? Can you tell us where the two nouns are?
Soldier and cloak.
Good. Soldier and cloak. Good job. And then Tyler, what about the three pronouns?
He,
Good.
he,
Good.
he.
Good. He.
That was easy.
Yeah. And then William, what about the adjective? This is going to tell a little bit more about one of the nouns.
Magic.
Good. Man, you guys are on fire today. And then we have the coordinating conjunction next. That's a new one. So what I do want you to put right here is that word fanboys in all caps. Just to remind you, right next to coordinating conjunction, that's the word I need you to remember. Does anybody remember what those words are? Do you remember what the F is? Go ahead, William.
Or
Keep going. See how many you know. 4. Is that the only one you know?
and
And good.
nor
Good.
but
Yes.
or
Yes.
I'm lost.
Yeah, this one we don't use very often. Does anybody else remember what the Y is? Go ahead, Nisaya.
Yet.
Yet. Good. And Nisaya, do you know what the S stood for?
So.
Good. There you go. Is that what you were going to say, Tyler? Good. I'm so glad you guys remember that. Okay. So I forgot whose turn it was. I think it's Nisaya's turn. Do you see the coordinating conjunction in this sentence?
But.
Good. So we're going to put CC on top of but. One T in that word, by the way, not the other but. This but has one T. Just in case you were wondering. Okay. And then we have a that clause. So Tyler, where is the that clause?
There's one that clause after that.
Yeah, there's
There's
actually
one that clause after.
Well, what does it start with? What does the that clause start with?
A T.
That, right? So I'm going to put a parenthesis
Yes.
there. And where does it end?
Does it end at the noun or pronoun?
Well, it ends at the end of a thought, basically.
Okay, so is it after the comma?
Yes, so it ends at escape, basically. Because we have that word but next, that cuts up that sentence. So you're right, it goes.
So
go ahead.
the other that clause is after forgot.
Okay, that's where it starts. And where does that one
end? It ends at the very end of the sentence.
There you go, Tyler. And then we got to write that, even though I know it already has that. We're going to write that because we love the word that. We just love it so much. We want to say it all the time. Okay, so there's 2 that clauses. You got it. Good job, Tyler. And then William, let's do the verb pairs, the subject verb pairs. So we'll start with verbs. So William, where are the verbs at?
New.
New, good.
Escape.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. I wondered if you would say that. Escape, you're right. By itself is a verb. However, right before it, it has the word to. This is wrong though, right? This word to is not correct. William, did you notice that? Let's fix that really quick. So how should we spell this word to?
Yo.
There you go. So this word to, right before the word escape, changes it. To escape is now called an infinitive. I know it's weird. It's not a verb anymore. He needed to escape is changing that word escape. So we're not going to label it as a verb because it has the word to in front of it. Okay. So not escape, but what else, William? What other verbs are there?
Wearing.
Wearing, good.
Forgot.
Good.
And needed.
And needed, good. There is one helping verb in here. Do you see that one?
Was.
Good. Excellent. So we have new, needed, forgot, was wearing. And now the subject's Tyler. Who knew?
Wait, before I do that,
Yeah.
even though there's not a helping verb on there, would you still technically mark it? Because I noticed you marked the helping verb and it's not on.
Was right here.
Yes, but it's not on the checklist, but would we still mark it?
It's not on the checklist.
It's
Oh,
not on the
yeah, you still mark it because right here is where we're at, the subject verb pairs.
Mhm.
So it is part of those verbs. So
Okay.
even though it's not an action verb, it's a helping verb, we still do mark those. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So the soldier knew.
The soldier knew, good. And then inside the that clause has a subject. What's the subject there?
He
Good. And then right here, before the next clause has another
He.
subject. He,
he and
and
then another he.
then another he. So all the he's are subjects and the soldier. Obviously, all the he's are referring to the soldier. Good, you guys. So we got that. Go ahead and check off subject verb pairs. And that's it for that list. What about Nisaya? Where does the capital go?
The T and the
Okay, good. And then William, what is the end mark?
A period.
Nice. Okay, those are really easy. And we already did the homophone. That was this word too. They spelled it wrong here, so we had to fix that. So that's the homophone. Awesome. You did it. Woohoo. Any questions about this page? So later, you're going to write this down like you always do. And then the next 3 pages are your homework, and that's it for your homework this week. We are going to talk about the next unit. So that's what we're going to do next. So go ahead and put your grammar books away and get out your binders.
Are you referring into next unit as next class?
Well,
Or
yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, but your binder is broken up into units, like throughout the whole binder. And so the one that we just did, and that's what I'm going to explain right now, actually, because like unit 1, if you think way back when we first started class together, remember when you guys took a really short story and it was like The Dog in the Shadow? You guys remember way back then? And you read the story and then we picked out keywords in each sentence and then you practiced retelling the story. That's how we started, right? That was unit 1. We practiced saying the story. Then unit 2, we did the same thing. We looked at each sentence, we pulled out keywords, we made our outline, and then you wrote the story with your keywords. And
yeah,
then
I just noticed.
unit 3, you guys learned the story sequence chart. That's the one we just were working on, right? The story sequence chart totally was different. You had characters and setting, and you had a problem and a solution. So you retold the story like that. Now we're going to move into a completely different unit. But before I tell you about that, I do want you to look at your checklist here. This is from the Little Red Hen. So go ahead and get out the Little Red Hen from the front pocket of your binders. That's where you're supposed to be keeping the stuff you're working on, by the way. So whenever we finish class, at the end of class, you put all that stuff in your front pocket. And that way, when you go to do your homework, it's really easy to find. Okay. So you guys are doing pretty good about this. There are a couple of you that still are not following the checklist. I'm not going to name any names. So just know that this checklist right here, I need everybody to get out page 69. Okay, this is your checklist for the Little Red Hen. These come with every single lesson that we do in this binder. This checklist is like, this is your lifeline, okay? So this is how you do your homework. So this is so, so, so important Don't forget about this, okay? So I want to go through it one more time because some of you are still not quite following this. By the way, on your Google Classroom, I always put comments there. Sometimes they're on the document, and I'll tell you if they are, but sometimes they're just in the little private comment area. Give me a thumbs up if you've read my comments before, if you've seen my comments there. Okay, so Nisaya has not. Okay, do you know how to find my comments, Nisaya? No, okay. Do you know how to log into Google Classroom by yourself? Okay. So what I want you to do after class, Nisaya, is go to Google Classroom and go to like the homework that was due this week and open it, and you'll see a comment in there from me. I spend a lot of time on that. So it's really, really important for you guys to read my comments because I mean, we have class together, but my comments are like for each individual student. And so that's what's going to help your writing improve even more is when you read my comments and then you try to work at fixing stuff. Tyler, you're really good at communicating with me. Like we have conversations. Like he's typing back and I'm typing back. Sometimes we're on there at the same time. It's like, hey, we're having a conversation. So I like that. I want to be able to communicate with you guys. I'm not always on my computer. So if you leave a comment and I don't answer right away, it's probably because I'm doing something else or teaching another class. But use that Google Classroom to communicate with me because that's the best way, especially about your homework. So William, have you seen my comments before on the Google Classroom? Okay, so you guys need to make sure to, after class, to log in Google Classroom and go to your homework that was due this week and see what I put in there, okay? See what my comments say. This is a lot of times what I refer to in the comments because some students are still not following this. So let's just remember under structure, it says name and date in the upper left-hand corner. Some students are still not putting their name and date on the upper left-hand corner of your document. You start with that, okay? And then composition double spaced. And if you're handwriting it, that's when you just skip lines like on your lined paper, every other line, right? But if you're typing it, you have to set it to double space. If you don't know how to do that, you need to ask somebody in your house that knows how to use computers that can help you double space. Tyler, did you have a question?
No, I just had a comment.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you can't figure out how to double space it, you could just after each line press the enter key. And
Yeah.
it should go
Yeah,
down.
that I've seen you do that a little bit. And I think the only problem with that is it if you go back and fix something, then it sometimes makes it wonky. It like some of it's like single and then double. But do you know how to set it to double space, Tyler, before you even start? No? Let me just show you that because I think a couple of you guys do use the Google Docs. Okay, let me just pull up really quick because it's really important to know this. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's that easy. Why didn't I do this before? Okay, so let me share my screen here. I just pulled up a generic, this is just like an empty document, okay? This is like Google Docs. If this is what you like to use when you type your story, up here is your toolbar. Let me move this down. Right here is your toolbar. Sometimes it looks like this where you only see these options. Just a side note here, if you go all the way to the right, there's a little down arrow. That opens up more options here. So that's your full toolbar. Okay, do you see where my cursor is right here where there's like this little up and down arrow and then some lines next to it? You guys see that? If I click on that, right here it tells the spacing. Single space, this is like a little more than single. This is like 1.5. Double. That's what you want. So that up and down arrow with the lines next to it, before you even type your name, before you do anything, when you open up this blank document, the first thing you need to do is click double space right here. And then you can do your name. Oops, I'm in all caps here. I'm not yelling.
So we even want the name and stuff to be double spaced?
Everything double spaced, yes. So
Okay.
today is the 14th, 23. And then to center a title, this is another good thing to know.
That makes a lot more sense now.
Yes, good. Yay. Right here, this is your alignment. So see how you've got some choices up here. This one that looks like centered, that puts your cursor in the middle. And just for the sake of time, I'm going to call this the, whoops, little red hen, even though you were supposed to name it something else. Enter. And then you set this back over to the other side. And then tab to indent. And then one day there was a little red hen who lived in a barnyard. I don't know. I'm just making this up. So I'm just going to do gibberish now. I'm just going to go words, la, 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 la. Okay, I'm just typing whatever gibberish. Did you notice that I don't have to hit return? It will do it for me. I just keep typing. Okay, this word kind of, I need to put some spaces in here so it spreads out a little bit. There we go.
Wait, you don't even have to press the space bar when you're typing? You just have to do that to do the spaces?
Well, I do need to put a space bar between words, but you do not
Yeah,
need
but
to.
you only have, you just keep typing?
You just keep typing, Tyler. I'm telling you, it's going to save your life. You don't have to hit return. You just keep typing, spacing between each word, and it will just automatically return for you, and it'll give you that double space. See that? Let me show you what single space looks like. This, let me show you, just so you see it. That's single space. Some of you are turning in your work like that. That drives me bonkers. Please do not turn it in like that. It's got to be double spaced like this, okay? It's spaced out. Hopefully that helps you guys. Any other questions about this document right here? You can practice some of this stuff. There's lots of tools up here, so check it out. You know, mess around with it and see what it does so you can get familiar with it. Tyler?
Just out of curiosity, can you show me what I missed what you were trying to show us
About what?
about the double spacing?
Oh, just, I showed you this. You know where that is now, right?
Let me see.
Right
Was
here.
it under?
It's a little symbol. It has an up and down arrow. And if you just hover over that and put your cursor there, it'll tell you line and paragraph spacing. That little thing pops up.
Found it.
Okay, good. That's what you click before you even write your name, okay? And go to double. All right. We have so much to do today. I'm going to keep going, but I'm glad I got to show you that. So the checklist. That's what I was talking to you about. So double space, really important. It's on here. So when you see that, you go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to double space. You don't have to erase everything and do it again if you forget. There's a way to fix it, but check with somebody in your house that knows computers. They can help you fix that. Title, centered and repeats 1 to 3 keywords from your final sentence. All of this, but right here, some of you are still forgetting this. ly adverb, who, which clause, and strong verb. Those have to be in your paragraphs, in each paragraph. Okay?
I was never really good with doing that stuff last year.
You know what? You're getting so good though, Tyler. I've already seen all of you guys are working on this.
I was like last year I was just trying to even think what a li adverb is.
It takes a while. It does take a while to get used to it, but you have lists to use now. That pink list that you have is, you know, really handy when you have a list to look off of. Anyway, and then these banned words, don't use any of these banned words. So checklist, don't forget every single time we write, no matter what it is, you have one of these to go off of. So make sure you use this every single time.
I'm always so tempted to put say or said because I usually always use that.
All right, we're gonna put this stuff away, but there's some papers that go in different spots. So the first one I want you to put away is this pink page right here. This is that list I was telling you about. This is so nice to have if you're stuck and you can't think of a LY word. I want you to keep this behind stylistic techniques way back here. It's toward the back. This tab that says right here, stylistic techniques. You'll see this yellow page. It goes behind that page, okay? So you'll see this one, which is stylistic techniques. And then behind that, I want you to put this pink page. That way, when you guys go to write your paragraphs, because LY adverbs will forever be on your checklist, forever and ever, okay? So you know where this is behind stylistic techniques. You can turn to this page in your binder to help you come up with a good word. And remember, there's blank lines here for you to add to that if you come across other really good words. So put that there behind stylistic techniques. The next page I want you to put away is this one that's the yellow page. That goes behind model charts and outlines. Model charts and outlines is back a little bit. This is where all those yellow pages are. Okay, so go to the last part there and stick that one in, model charts and outlines. Excuse me. Once you get that put away, all the rest of the stuff for the little red hen goes behind finished compositions. Okay, that's this one here. Finished compositions. Those are all the stories you are finished with. Now, if your binder is getting too full, I don't want stuff popping out because that's never a good thing. So if you feel like it's getting too full, you can take out all of the finished stuff that you're done with and put it in a different binder. That's a way to kind of lighten your binder up a little bit. Give me a thumbs up when you got everything put away. William?
Where do we put this stuff again? Because my binder stuff was pulling out.
Oh, okay. Did you put away the pink and yellow pages? Okay, so the pink one goes behind stylistic techniques. You see that tab? Okay, good. So put it behind that yellow page that's in there on stylistic techniques. Stick it in there. Yeah, don't forget to close your rings up because that's a big mess if you forget that part. A lot of my students did that last year and it was like a giant mess. Okay, once you get that put away, William, do you have that in there? Okay, the yellow one, this one, that one goes behind a different tab called, where is it? Model charts and outlines. This one right here, model charts and outlines. Put the yellow one on the back of all that's in there, okay? Give me a thumbs up when you got that. Okay, and then the rest of the stuff goes behind finished compositions for a little red hen. Did you get it all put away, Tyler? Okay, good. Nasiah, you good? Okay, and then William's still working on his. Once you get that in there, William, behind finished compositions, go to the front and get out the next week, which is week 9. That's behind the source text tab. And it's about deserts right here. So it looks like this, week 9 deserts. And I think there's 5 pages. Let me check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So there's 5 pages with deserts, week 9. And when you see week 10, just leave that in there. Don't take that one out yet. You need 2 pieces of lined paper too. So go ahead and get out 2 pieces of lined paper in week 9, and then when you're all set, give me a thumbs up. Okay, thanks, Nisaya. I see that. Got it, Tyler? Not yet. Okay. All of week 9, so it's page 71, page 73, page 75, page 77, and then page 79 is the checklist. Did your binder come apart, William? Okay, good. Phew. Looked like things were falling out. You're ready, Tyler? Okay, good. And you got your lined paper? Okay, good. Yay. So we're going to talk about deserts this time. And if you look at the top here, you'll see we're moving on to unit 4. So we're done with the story sequence chart for now. We'll come back to it later, but for now we're moving on to summarizing a reference. So we're going to talk about what that means. So the first thing I need you to do is get your lined paper ready. And we're going to take some notes for class. Okay. And I'm going to introduce this new unit to you. So go ahead and put your name and your date right here. Today's the 14th. Getting close to Christmas. Oh my goodness. 11 days. That's it till Christmas. 11 days. That's it. Oh my goodness. It's coming so fast. I feel like we just have 4th of July. So weird. Oh my goodness. Okay. So name and date here. Are you good, William? Okay. And then you're going to skip a line over here to the side. I'm going to have you write unit 4 about right here. And then I'm going to have you write summarizing a reference. And I'm going to tell you what that means. Summarizing a reference. Because that's probably kind of new for you, possibly. You've heard the word summarize before, I'm sure. So that word summarize, what I want you to do first is just circle the first part of that word, S-U-M, sum. Summarize has S-U-M at the beginning. Have you ever seen S-U-M sum before? Have you seen that?
In math.
In math. Perfect. Thank you, Tyler. That's what I was hoping for. So do you remember what it means in math? What does it mean, Tyler?
The total of like 12 plus 24.
Okay, good. So the total of an addition problem, it's the answer, right? It's like all of it added together. That's the sum. All right. Well, summarizing does not mean all of the information. So what I want you to do is draw a little arrow down, and then I want you to write this word, some, S-O-M-E. Does anybody know how to explain what does S-O-M-E mean, William?
To get most of the stuff in.
Well, if I say some, like let's say you ask your mom, can I have some cake? Does it mean all the cake? You want all the cake, William? So what is some?
You just have part of it.
Part. Good. Tyler, did you want to add to that? Or is that what you were going to say?
I was gonna say like part or half,
Part or half, a piece,
quarter.
right? Yeah. Some, you don't want to eat the whole cake, that you won't feel good after that, right? So if you ask for some cake, you just want a piece, a little bit of it. So really summarizing is telling some or part of the information. So even though it has SUM here for summarizing, I want you to just ignore that. It's not the total, it's some. Go ahead and circle this one. You're telling some of the information. Now move over here to that word reference. This word reference, I want you to draw an arrow down. This is information. So this is different than the Little Red Hen. The Little Red Hen was a story, right? It was a made up story. The animals are talking and things are happening that animals don't normally do, like bake bread, for instance, right? And so that's more of a story. A reference has information, facts, real facts. So a reference could be a textbook. It could be an encyclopedia. It could be a website online that you find information from, like National Geographic, if you're looking for information about volcanoes, for instance. You can go to special websites that have facts and information. So a reference is where you get that information. For us, in our binder, we have articles. These articles come from other sources, but they have facts and information. So we're moving away from made up fiction stories of animals talking and doing things now to real information. And we're going to learn about deserts this next week, coming up, and after the holidays too. But we're going to learn about deserts, and we're going to take information that we learn and only tell some of it. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes information, well, let's put underneath this, how do we decide if an article has like 20 things in it, 20 facts, and we only need to pick 5? How do we decide what to pick to put in our report, right? That gets a little tricky. So I want you over here on the side to draw like a funnel, or yeah, a funnel. That's what this is called. That's not a very good picture, but you get it. It's wide up here and it gets narrow down here. It's like, go ahead.
You just cut out for a minute, so I missed like half of what you said after the funnel.
Oh, this is a funnel where it's wide at the top and it's narrow down here. And you might have seen this, like maybe if your dad or your mom or somebody is changing the oil in the car and they're pouring from a big jug into a small hole in the engine. And they have to use one of these so it doesn't spill everywhere, right? And maybe you've seen somebody use it in the kitchen when you're pouring like from a big milk jug into a tiny hole. You use a funnel like this. So right here, where it kind of comes together, make a little oval shape like that, and then put some dots in there. Because this is like a filter. And a filter, when you use a filter, it takes out chunks of things. Like if you have, if you're trying to make homemade orange juice and you're squeezing all these oranges and there's seeds and stuff that's getting in there, you don't want to drink the seeds, right? That would probably get stuck in your throat. So when you pour it into something small, this stuff will catch the seeds, right? So you don't swallow the seeds if you pour it into your glass like that. So basically, put the number 20 up here at the top, and then put the number 5 down at the bottom. So basically, what I want to give you is this image. This is information. Like if you have 20 things you're learning about volcanoes, there's like all kinds of stuff there. You learn about the ash, and you learn about the lava, and you learn about the temperature and the location, and it's in tropical areas, and how it affects the animals, and how it affects the air. And like there's so much information, right, about volcanoes, but you only need 5 things. You use a filter, and in order to do that, you're going to look for things that are over to the side here. I want you to put important. And then under that, I want you to put relevant. And then interesting. There's 3 words here: important, relevant, and interesting.
What does relevant mean?
Good question. So relevant means, so when you're writing a report about volcanoes, for instance, that's our example today. Something relevant would be, what is a volcano, right? You would need to let your reader know what is a volcano if they've never
So,
heard
like,
it before.
a question that makes it a deeper question.
Yeah, start with the basics though. If you're writing a report about volcanoes, you don't want to just jump into lava, right? Because if the reader doesn't know what a volcano is, they got to know that it's from the earth, and it's formed like a mountain, and that it comes from deep within the earth. I mean, you have to give
Well,
some
if they were
information.
going to jump into it before reading about it, it'd be too late to read about it after.
Right, it would be too confusing for the reader. So like if you're giving a report, and let's say you want to give it to your little cousin who's like 5 years old, and you want to show your little cousin your report on volcanoes, and maybe your little cousin doesn't understand what it is, the relevant information has to be giving that foundation. Like, what is a volcano? And what does it look like, right? You got to start with that rather than talking about the temperature and all that other deeper stuff. So relevant just means, and here's another example, Tyler. If you're doing a report about a person like Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you got to tell like when he was born, because people might think, well, where is Abraham Lincoln? Is he alive now? And where does he live?
Who
You know what
was
I mean?
he?
Right.
What he meant or something.
Yes, but that's kind of like the foundation part of the information, is telling, okay, he was born in the early 1900s. He's not alive anymore, and he made a big influence in our country. Those types of things are relevant. Okay. It kind of goes with important. Important and relevant are really close to each other, because together they're the fundamental things of what you're writing about. They're like the base of the information. And then we have this word interesting. And interesting is actually an opinion. It's everybody, like William might think that the lava is the most interesting part about volcanoes, but Tyler, you might be more interested in how it affects the animals that live near the volcanoes, and what do they do when one erupts, you know? And so maybe you guys have different opinions about what's interesting, and that part makes it more fun to write about. If you're looking for interesting information, that means you're looking for stuff that you like, that's interesting, like it's, wow, I didn't know that, or that's weird, or that's cool, or that's awesome, or something like that. You want to put that information in your report, and that will, if you find it interesting, the person reading it will more than likely find it interesting too. So that's, I want you to put a little star by the word interesting, because I think, you still have to include the important and relevant stuff in the beginning, but if you really focus on the interesting stuff, it's so much more fun to write a report. Okay, and you can do this like forever, even when you get into high school. You can use what I'm telling you here, and that will help you so much when you go to write a report about something. So, are there any questions about this funnel or the information or anything that I just said right here? Okay, underneath that, we're just gonna do like a pretend outline down here. Okay, so go ahead and just leave a space, like skip a line. And then we're gonna just write a little outline right here. So Roman numeral 1, and then 1 through 5. You guys are good at those outlines. Outlines are really, really helpful, even when you're doing a report. Next to that Roman numeral 1, I want you to put the word topic. Each paragraph is a topic, okay? Next to this, over on the side over here a little bit, I want you to write subject, and then I want you to circle subject. Now, the subject of a report is the big thing you're talking about, like if it's about volcanoes, right? Your subject would be volcanoes. And then from here, I'm going to have you guys draw 3 lines down like that. And then I want you to write topic, topic, and topic. It doesn't have to be perfect, so you're just getting a visual here. Each topic represents a paragraph. So you remember the paragraph symbol? It's like 2 lines down and then a backwards P looking thing. So 2 lines down, backwards P, and then let's do one underneath each one of these. It's a backwards P looking thing. Okay, that stands for paragraph. So under your subject, that's the big thing you're talking about. You have 3 topics, which is 3 paragraphs. An example of a topic, if the subject is volcanoes, one topic could be lava. One topic could be the effect on animals. Another topic could be the location of volcanoes. You see what I'm doing here? So the big thing is the volcanoes, but then we learn about different things about those volcanoes. So let's say this topic is the lava. Okay, underneath this topic then are all the sentences about lava. Lava is such and such temperature. Lava rolls like slow moving, I don't know, mud or something. Lava destroys everything in its path. And the chemical makeup of lava is blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So the whole paragraph is going to be about lava. So then you move to the next paragraph, and this whole paragraph could be about the effect on animals. So volcanoes in Hawaii affect the animals, blah, 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 that live in Hawaii. So I don't even know. I'm just making this up, okay? So here is your paragraph, right? And your outline. This is your keyword outline. So your topic is the first sentence, and then the rest of the stuff, these are all facts. So draw like a little like sideways rainbow looking thing, and then you're going to put facts here. And facts is information about that topic, whatever it is. And then at the very bottom, I want you to put this word, clincher. This is a new word for you. Because there's also something new that you're going to find on your checklist when you're working on these reports. And it's called a topic clincher rule. So let's look really quick. I know we're running out of time, but look at this yellow page really quick. Next, right here. Topic clincher rule. This is page 77 from your packet that you just got out of for week 9. And notice topic is up here and clincher is at the very bottom. So this represents the first sentence of your paragraph. This represents the last sentence of your paragraph, not the whole report. Each paragraph has a first and last sentence. So now you're going to tie in some words from your first sentence and your last sentence of your paragraph. I'm just going to introduce this to you and then we'll practice more of it later. But it goes like this, okay? I'm going to show you how it goes and we'll do it together. But you're going to use your hands and you're going to say a little saying with me. I'll do it first. So just listen. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. Okay, and now we'll do it together, but notice it says that right here. Repeat or reflect 2 to 3 key words. So the first sentence and the last sentence of each paragraph is going to show the same words or almost the same words. So reflect just means like maybe 2 words like windy outside and breezy. Windy and breezy. They're 2 different words, but they're similar. Okay, that's what reflect means. So we'll talk about that more, but I'm going to stop my share for a second. And this time I want you guys to just copy me, okay? I'll say it first and then you copy me. And you put your hand up like this, kind of up a little bit, and say the topic sentence. Go ahead and say that. There you go. And then I'll say it and you repeat it. The clincher sentence must, and then you're going to do 2 fingers up like this and do repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key, like you're turning a key, words. Okay, one more time. Repeat it after me. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. Good. You guys are getting it. So we'll practice that more and more. You guys know what key words are. We've been doing that since the day one, right? So you know what key words are, not words like is or the or it, but keywords to the sentence. Those you're going to start matching up in your paragraphs now, the first and the last sentence of your paragraphs. Okay, that was a lot of information to take in. You guys did great. There's no writing part of homework this week, only grammar. You do have to do your grammar. Woohoo! So just focus on your grammar this week, and I will see you next week, and wear a Santa hat or something fun if you want, and I'll see you next week. Did you have something to say, Tyler?
Yeah, it's not really a question, it's just a comment. It was
Okay.
in my mind as we were going through the whatever it was. We were talking about the banned words.
Oh,
And my
yeah?
mind was like, well, if you're having trouble with banned words, why don't you not use those words when you're talking?
Oh, that would be really hard because I use them a lot without even realizing it. That would be tough. All right, and Nisaya and William, I want you guys to try to find my comments in the Google Classroom, okay? Look for those. All right, you guys. Have a good one. I'll see you next week.